Hey, folks, just before we get into this season's final episode, we just wanted to say a very quick and heartfelt thank you to friend of the show, unofficial sponsor, and all-around amazing guy, the one true Kyle. I have given that title. Yes, I succeeded that title after threats of violence. But we really just wanted really quick to share a couple of our favorite cubes that we all have. I mean, I've got my nice little Marvel vs. Capcom here, which was our first collab with Retro, and also our amazing Separation Anxiety. Oh man, the reflection is brutal and chuggy.
It's too shiny. It's so shiny.
It's
so clean. You can see everything.
I see a Chrono Trigger one. I see a Shredder's Revenge. I see Paper Mario
with custom
Charizard.
Paper Mario
with Charizard.
Yeah, Charizard is the boss.
So again, like Retro is a really good friend of ours that we met through doing this, of all things. We appreciate him. We just wanted to support him however we can, since he's supported us. Trevor, did you have the Etsy code?
Yes, it is GEGP10 for 10% off any Retro Edge art cube.
Hell yeah.
I'll have the link to his store in the show notes.
Yeah, his store is on Etsy. He's got his Instagram page. Thanks, Retro. Kyle.
Buy it now. All the
you're a true G.
It's so good. He's also just coming up. He's just about to come up on his 100th cube design.
Oh, shit.
I think it's going to be a pretty big reveal. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it'll be cool.
Thanks, Retro. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. And with that out of the way, let's jump into this week's episode of the Good Enough Gaming Podcast. Sorry, that was like a Critical Role intro there. This is our 20th episode of the season. And if you haven't figured out by now, 20 is like our magic number. This episode is our Summer Games episode, where we are looking forward to releases that are coming up for us, that we actually have a chance to play, because we're going to be taking a bit of a hiatus until the summer, just so we can catch up and play more games, so we actually have content to talk about with you. So we're not
finish house projects for our wives, summer stuff.
So we're not just bitching about the same games over and over and over. We're
going to be on Discord, so if you want to talk to us about anything that's going on throughout our little break here for our next season, please check us out on there and feel free to chat with us in the midst
Discord
of waiting
is
for season 5. But
popping up. Shit, right. Season 5?
Yeah.
God damn.
5 does come after 4.
That's usually how it works.
I don't know, man.
That also means next season we're going to hit episode 100.
100.
Ooh. So this is 80. Did I say 60 earlier? This is 80.
This is episode 80.
God damn.
80.
80. There's a lot for us to prepare for summer. Not just our kidneys and liver, for the amount of energy drinks, coffee, some beer, and processed foods. I don't know, man. I'm like clean eating, healthy living now.
Yeah, okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm the Pope.
Cheesies. So we already have it in our collective schedules for the release of Diablo 4, but we also wanted to talk about some other games that we are looking forward to this summer coming out, and hopefully we get to play before we talk to you next.
And here we are.
Here we are. We've all collectively decided to buy the deluxe edition of Diablo 4 solely so we can play in our LAN party, release day LAN party, which has become a
school.
Yeah.
We're actually getting together in person.
And
playing
to play a game that we could play online.
Yeah.
Together.
Just, I don't know, man. Like our little LAN parties like bring me back to, being a teenager and getting together with friends and staying up all night. And it's like
it's a good time.
I don't give a shit if I'm in my mid-30s. This is awesome.
No. I plan on ruining my sleep schedule for 4 days afterwards so that I can play this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm abandoning my family for a night.
I come back from a trip the day that it comes out.
Right.
And I'm going to be on about 3 hours of sleep. And I'm going to be just running on energy drinks and fucking edibles. So let's get it.
As long as the only lag is from the jet and not from the game, we're going to be fine.
I'm putting a rim shot in on that one. We now have a rim shot sound. I'm using it all the time.
No, we've got a pretty surefire connection set up this time around. I think we fine-tuned it after our last Warzone night. Was that Warzone night? Warzone night.
Yeah, Warzone 2.
Yeah, it was.
Just to be playing from the kitchen.
No. We'll all be in the same room. We got it dialed in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Running power from the kitchen.
Oh my God. It's
big long extension cord.
To say I'm looking forward to it is an understatement.
Yeah, man. I'm amped. Yeah.
It's a good thing that the game does it. I don't know when it actually opens for servers open, but part of me, oh my God, I was seriously considering taking a day off work.
Yeah, but we got to play together. We got to wait for Jordan to come back, so we got to play together.
I know. God damn it, Jordan!
Sorry.
You couldn't book an earlier flight or anything.
I'm stuck. Yeah, it is what it is.
Fucker.
I am pretty stoked that we're all going in cold. None of us played the beta.
No. I've avoided all gameplay stuff.
Me too. And I was I'm really excited that we're just gonna go in fresh eyes, no preconceptions, no premeditated plan, and just have at her together.
Eyes closed, head down. Eyes closed, head down. Can't lose.
And the best part about this for our listeners is because we're all going in cold for the first time, it means that Kyle can't skip cutscenes or dialogue. So we all get to enjoy the game the way it was intended to be enjoyed.
You know what? I have made some character advancements this past week or so. I played Midnight Suns and I didn't skip shit.
Wow. That's a game with a lot of shit.
That is a lot of dialogue too. Yeah, I'm impressed.
I mean, it was Marvel shit, so I was invested.
Yeah, you were into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But today, boys, we're looking to the future. We're looking for things that you're excited about. Obviously, folks, we're excited about Diablo 4. No shit. But there's some that are closer on the horizon.
Hey. Segue for Trevor?
Yeah.
My wife comes Kool-Aid Manning through the door. Bring on the burning shores, brother.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of releases that are also coming out that I feel like we should talk about too, that we're excited for, because there's a wide variety of stuff, and I feel like we have a lot in front of us that will actually take up our time, or even games that we haven't gotten to yet that we're either waiting for to go on sale or just haven't gotten around to.
Get fixed.
Yeah.
I have a list.
That's always a key thing. Yeah.
Quite a list.
Yeah, I've got a big list for this one.
And obviously, we're not going to talk about Diablo 4 anymore, because we could literally talk about it.
We could do an entire episode on Diablo. Yeah.
And we probably will.
And we will.
I mean, there's so much. Daryl, since you've got your list locked and loaded, do you want to start us off?
We'll kind of rotate, I figured.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a few.
Number one, Trevor and I are very excited for this. I know Jordan is too. That is coming out very similar timeline to Diablo, and that is Final Fantasy 16, which looks like an incredible game. I love that they went back to the medieval fantasy style whatever is going on with the summons this round looks incredibly interesting. They're
looks
like
they put a fighting game into it. Like it honestly feels like they turn it into a side scroller fighting game.
It's like Power Rangers Megazord battle.
That's exactly what I was going for. I was like, this is like at the end of the original Power Rangers game on Super Nintendo, and you're like, if you did enough, you get to play as the Megazords, and you're like, oh shit. Like, so I'm very excited for this game. The character design, the summon design, the look and just the look of that game right now is very enticing to me. That's very much up my alley. And I can't wait to play that one. That looks like I'm really hoping it's like the next staple of that franchise that like really hooks everybody back in.
Yeah,
I think 15 kind of struggled, but they did a lot with like graphics.
I think
they
lost a lot of people. Yeah,
this one it looks like they really like locked it in. They're like, okay, we can make it work. The PS5, like Xbox, like we can make this better.
I like 15. I did too. 15.
I just think they like really tuned it in, right? Like they really dialed it in because there were parts like when it first came out that it struggled just with the performance and stuff. But this I think will be awesome.
I was already sold on this game, and then one of the last previews that they had done for it, which I didn't know, but I guess the guy that was in charge of combat did Devil May Cry. He was the lead designer for the Devil May Cry games. So I was like, well, fuck. Okay. Like if that's going to be the guy doing your battles and your combat mechanics, I'm in. Like that double down.
If they tie it in with like the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff, like I really enjoyed the way they did that in terms of a RPG, like a new age RPG with a like the roots of a turn-based. I was like, that would be fucking wicked.
Chef's kiss, buddy.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pumped for that.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Jordan?
Okay. Yeah, Jordan, what you got, bud?
Well, similar to Daryl, my list is pretty extensive. But I'll start with probably the one that's the closest release date, and that's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That
do you have to do a bunch of challenges and like find a Yoda idol?
Maybe.
If I didn't have a ton of collectibles, I'm trying to think of what there was.
No, it's Jedi Survivor.
It was a lot.
I got the reference, Kyle. I understood.
Thanks, Daryl.
The torch has been put out.
My show's been on for way too fucking long.
Island.
On season 41 of Survivor.
Yeah.
Oh,
God. That's I played the first one when it came out. So I kind of rolled the dice. There hadn't been a Star Wars game in a long time that I enjoyed. Probably Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, which was a old PS3 franchise. That's probably the last time I enjoyed a game in that universe. So played the first one, really enjoyed it. Has some. I hate that everybody uses this term for every game nowadays, but Dark Souls-like combat.
Chunky and brutal.
Chunky and brutal. Not
Unforgiving.
Really. Unforgiving and patience.
Enemies respawn when you rest.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the sequel looks like it's going to be really good. Built from the ground up for next-gen consoles, so visually it looks even better. They've tweaked it and made it a little bit more open world-ish. Kind of sounds like it's going to be similar to the God of War games, where it'll be kind of like modular levels, but really big open spaces that you can explore and kind of search through. But still with the same combat. They've added in a Ghost of Tsushima battle stance mechanic with your lightsaber, so you can do like heavy attacks where it turns into like a cross guard lightsaber, so you're slower, you have to be a lot more patient, but your damage output is really high. So I like those changes. And then the last one, my only complaint was I got really tired of collecting ponchos. You can only collect so many ponchos. So this one, it looks like the collectibles are more varied, and they actually have like better stats attached to them. They're more, there's going to be like more stat based items that actually mean some things. So
kind of like God of War. That would be helpful. That was my biggest complaint with the first one.
Yeah. So that game, everything so far looks to be really great. I'm actually watching the end of Shameless on Netflix right now, and Ian Gallagher from that show is the main Jedi character in this game. So it's kind of cool to see him. I'm like, Jesus, like he looks exactly like he does in this show.
One of those like Norman Reedus in Death Stranding kind of deal.
Yeah.
They just purely took him as like the character model.
Yeah.
So
now he's got a scraggly beard, so he's older and much wiser.
Way more seasoned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but Trevor, well, what about you? Kind of in recent release dates, I think we know what the answer is, but
I've got two, because I'm going to pass over Horizon. Horizon is a very obvious one in my household. Surprisingly,
2 weeks.
It's about a week or two, depending on when this episode comes out. Not a ton of details yet. They've been like little tidbit teasers on trailers, but they really haven't talked about. And this was the same thing with the Frozen Wilds from the first one. Yeah. They didn't really give a ton about what they were going to do with the expansion. So I'm curious. I'm hoping it's like I already pre-purchased it. It was like a $25 DLC, so I'm really hoping that it is like a good,
substantial,
big. Yeah, it'll be big.
And Frozen Wilds was pretty good. It had a good expansion on the story. The other one that I'm actually really excited for, same thing I'm excited for my wife to play this one, is this new game. It's called Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is like a third-person RPG, kind of a detective game, but it looks like they tied in some horror to it a little bit. So it's Sherlock Holmes meets Cthulhu. Like it's got it's got H.P. Lovecraft stuff in it, and they've somehow meshed these two together in this like Sherlock Holmes world.
Interesting.
I don't know a ton about it. I've watched a bit of like trailer gameplay type stuff. It looks kind of interesting, kind of off the beaten path of like the major games coming out.
Right.
So it's definitely on my radar of like, I'm definitely gonna have to check this one out and see if it gets a decent review and then probably pull the trigger on it. But
is it kind of built as like the Telltale type games where it's more like just kind of making choices, or is it like open world type RPG?
It didn't look like that. It looked more open worldy, but I wasn't sure like if there was really combat. Like I really have to look into it more. But it was just the kind of the thing that caught me was the world and the way they combine these two like super famous kind of sets of characters.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it looks super dark. So I was like, this got to be kind of cool. But like, I think it like I'm more of maybe not like a Life is Strange, but what's the other one? Is it LA Noire? The one where you're kind of like an RPG,
like the detective.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe something along those lines.
Okay.
Like less, you're not really doing combat, but you're doing tasks and stuff like that. So
that's
kind of
sweet.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Man, in the next 2 months, there's some pretty solid ones.
I've got a podcast game that I think everybody here is excited about. And that's Lego 2K Drive.
I was going to bring that one up because my son might shit his pants with excitement if he gets to play it with me. I mean, he's, given his uncles that have
he's got a few Legos.
Exacerbated his Lego addiction. And like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, he'll build the first, the set the first time, and I was like, no, I'm gonna build my own stuff now. And I mean, like, occasionally I send you guys some of the stuff he makes.
Yeah, he's getting super
pretty
creative.
impressive.
For a 4-year-old, it's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah. Right. Some of it is just hilarious 4-year-old stuff.
Oh yeah.
This man is caught in the fart prison. That was the best one.
Nailed it, buddy. You nailed it.
Yeah, you got it.
But yeah, like 2K Racers, Lego 2K Drive for sure. Another one coming up,
like V-Bucked or whatever the hell.
Oh God! If that's the case,
please.
It really didn't look like it, but I'm hoping they didn't like hide that. and you're just like, oh,
yeah.
It's the only thing I'm concerned about with that.
Yeah.
And we just bitched about like live service games and microtransactions last week. Yeah. So everyone that knows me knows I'm a big zombie killing fan.
No.
Dead Island 2 is supposedly coming out.
I'm hesitant on that game.
We'll see.
But the other one is actually Endless Dungeon. This is sort of a spiritual
on your list.
Yeah. It's a spiritual successor to Dungeon of the Endless because they struggle with names. But it's a completely
it's a Dungeon of the Endless.
Yeah. It's a genre shift for them. Yeah.
It's a circle. There's no edges. It's a circle.
So fuck you guys.
Sorry, Kyle.
So it's a spiritual successor to Dungeon of the Endless, but it's also like a genre shift too. So Dungeon of the Endless was actually like, I played a shitload of it on Steam during COVID times because I could play it windowed while I was working.
Yeah.
But that one was like a combination of like a roguelike tower defense game with like some extraction aspects to it. Really, really fun and like in depth, and you unlock more characters. Really cool. But Endless Dungeon now takes that and sort of flips it, and now you can play it 4-player co-op, which again, we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it, and has a lot of like sort of sci-fi aspects to it. So I'm really curious to see how it plays and how it works 4-player. Yeah, I'm obviously excited about that. I mean, looking into June, Diablo is going to be the front and center of our minds.
Yeah.
Through that whole month.
It's really going to be Diablo when the boys are all available, and then it's going to be Final Fantasy 16 when
people are busy.
when nobody's when everybody's
There's only
busy.
one thing that could change my mind that was slightly leaked the other day. Like, there's no footage or anything, but there was a statement made, and it's supposed to come out this year. And the only thing that would change my timeline of what I'm putting my time into is if Mortal Kombat 12 comes out in the summer. That's the only thing that's going to change my plans.
We're literally going to lose Daryl for a couple weeks.
Yes. Without a doubt. I will have to take a break from Mortal Kombat 12 to play anything else. That will be my break.
You know, Daryl, at this point, I'm actually surprised that you haven't bought like a fight pad just for the game.
I probably should.
You probably should. Because I feel like a PS5 controller isn't intuitive for a fight game.
No, it's plenty fine. I just would like to have the option to play both at this point.
I feel like that's going to be a summer gift to yourself.
Maybe the next Mortal Kombat will have a special edition with a fight pad.
There you go.
PS5 fight pad.
Shut up and take Daryl's money.
Yeah.
I think if that game does come out this year, it's either going to be an August or September release. I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be in that.
I don't know. But like, because there's nothing said that just said that it's coming out this year, and I was like, what?
I need to change my pants.
Yeah, please say what? Jordan and I thought it was going to be Injustice 3 before Mortal Kombat 12, but I'm not upset. I like both.
I like Mortal Kombat as well, but I am disappointed because Injustice 2 to me is like the perfect fighting game. And
it's phenomenal. But
so I'm really disappointed. 11. I'm really disappointed. But if Mortal Kombat 12 does come out, it'll be great.
That's the only thing I would change the course of events for my summer. That's the only possible thing that would change anything from Diablo.
We're going to have to do like wellness checks on Daryl. Just be like, Hey, buddy, you
I'm just not
okay?
gonna sleep.
Just
It's not gonna happen.
Just send him skip the dishes every once in a while. Be like, hey, buddy, you need to eat some food, I bet.
The driver
I have to get a sponsorship from like Dwayne Johnson for Zola or something, because I'm probably going to live off of that.
Oh, my God. Oh.
That's a big one. Kyle, what about Resident Evil 4 for you? I'm surprised that that's not lingering.
I can wait to play that one. That was going to be sort of like an honorable mention. That one's like going to be a sale game, I think.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4 is regarded as the best game of the franchise. This remake sounds like it adds a lot to it. I'm excited about it, but I'm not in a rush to play it. I'm not like Daryl, like
Day
coming
one,
in his pants for
right.
Mortal Kombat.
I can't help it.
Yeah, I know.
It is a pretty smart move too, though, because like most Resident Evil games in the last couple entries that have come out, by August or September, most of them are 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're not in a rush to play that game, it'll go on sale pretty steep in just a couple months.
Yeah, and I can live with that. One that actually sorry, what were you gonna say, Daryl?
I said yes, sir.
Yes, sir. One that actually just came out like yesterday on Plus, which I managed to jump into a bit. That's sort of a bit of a genre shift that was fucking hilarious. Is Meet Your Maker. It just came out, but I want to talk about it because it's fucking hilarious. And in this case, it's like a first person sort of like trap dungeon avoider where you're trying to steal genetic material from other people, and they've set up these trapped dungeons you have to get through. And if you're my wife sitting and watching me play this, she gets a fucking kick out of it every time, just like watching me die to like spikes or arrow traps or grenade traps, watching me fail constantly at these same levels over and over and over until I get it. It's super satisfying. I haven't even started the base building, like build your own dungeon component of it, but it's very intriguing, and I feel like I could put a bit of time into this.
It honestly, like for our listeners, if you haven't heard of this game, it's basically Super Mario Maker meets a first-person shooter Doom type game.
Fallout 3, I would almost say, give it like a little bit. Like Fallout 3, you can like build your own, home base and stuff. But like it's a dungeon with traps.
Yeah. But like as the player, like when you're shooting stuff, it definitely looks like Doom. Just a little bit.
Yeah. There's definitely some Doom vibes in there for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a really good like backseat gamer game.
Yeah.
Where like someone's on the couch, like if you're just hanging out with your wife or your spouse or whatever, and you're just like, oh, we're going to play this together. Like, help me find the traps. To me, that's like a good game to get people involved in just because it's so ridiculous.
I think
spot it. Yeah.
I think that game is going to be something where if it succeeds and it does well, like I would love to see what that game looks like a year from now.
Oh yeah.
Like with the proper content and just the imagination from the community.
Yeah. I mean, you did I sent you guys image of one of the brutal, like the hardest rated dungeons that I tried. And I just like got fucked up within like a minute or two, even after trying it multiple times. And Jordan, you tried one today too. That was.
Yeah. I died like
ridiculous. Yeah. I think before we go looking a little bit more long-term, I think it might be time for our last showdown of the season.
It's a big one.
The last one, and it's
last one.
It's a multi-fight.
Oh, a doozy.
Fantasy Face-Off.
And in that, I mean, it's not just mano a mano. It's group versus group.
Oh.
God damn it, Daryl.
And we talked about these characters a long time ago in one of our 90s throwback episodes. And I thought, what the hell? Let's have them fight each other. So it's the battle of the weird 90s cartoon characters that we all remember. It is the Samurai Pizza Cats versus the Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh my god, what a fucking matchup that is.
It's the old cat and mouse game, you guys, but this time it's a little weirder.
Oh my god.
Oh, I forgot about the Samurai Pizza Cat.
Samurai Pizza Cat.
Oh yeah! Who do you call when you want some pepperoni?
Samurai Pizza Cat.
Right on!
It's pretty funny.
It's like Cats meets like Mega Man meets Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense.
It was the times where everything was just randomly generated. Like, pick an animal, pick a fighting style,
spin the wheel,
put them in a certain place. Here we go.
Yeah, and we got a show.
Bingo, we got it. Okay, we got
throwing
bikers, we have
darts.
mice, we have space.
Where are they from?
Mars.
Damn it, Johnson.
They're genius.
Genius.
We have cats, we have samurais. Where do they work? At a pizza parlor.
They love pizza. They
Someone
got
actually-
shot out of a pizza oven.
Yeah.
Someone accidentally spun the wheel the same way, and that's how we have like street sharks. Like, they ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Shit, we already have one of those. Whatever.
I guess we'll give them what do we give them? Monster trucks. Okay.
That would have been a great three-way battle.
I don't know. I went for these two. It was most.
I like the cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good mix.
That's well played.
Well, who wins, gents?
I'll go first. I don't know who the fuck these Samurai Pizza Cats are. I've never heard of this in my life.
No?
Never heard of it. I grew up with Biker Mice from Mars, and in my household, I had action figures of them. We had the Super Nintendo like Mario Kart racing game, which is actually fucking good, so good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Biker Mice from Mars all the way. That they're gonna fucking trounce these stupid ass cats.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Do I have to go?
Oh, Kyle. We got to get Kyle because we got to see if
Kyle?
Kyle's going to be on.
It's always got to get Kyle.
Outside of history, Kyle's going to be on this time.
I just, the Samurai Pizza Cats are just like too cute and nice and goofy. The Biker Mice from Mars actually has some like grit and.
But
They're
are they
chunky and
faster than the
brutal.
Samurai Pizza Cats? Are they more clever than them?
It's the Biker Mice from Mars. Right?
Oh my God! Kyle gave himself a win.
Yeah, because I'm definitely leaning Biker Mice here too.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think this might be a unanimous
bike
one.
gang. They got that bike gang vibe, right? They're like a Samurai Pizza Cat, but what about a Samurai Pizza Cat against like a tire iron? Like, I don't think they're gonna do so
A
great.
chain.
Yeah,
I think they have like laser guns and stuff. Like some of the clips from the old Biker Mice from Mars stuff is actually so funny. And if you're listening and you have no idea what either of these are, I highly encourage you to go to YouTube.
Yes.
Go watch.
Just watch.
There's a ton of
just from either
episodes.
of these.
Yeah.
You can be blown away by what we experienced as adolescents and children.
they're so
If you're-
old. I think
This is what shaped us.
I'm sure the whole season has to be on YouTube. Like, it's got to be
probably.
of that
gotta be.
age.
If you're into emulation for like retro games and stuff, please go back and download the Biker Mice from Mars Super Nintendo game. It's one of the first like racing games I remember growing up that actually had upgradable parts to your bikes. And you could buy
snap.
like modular things to upgrade speed and armor and shit like that. I don't remember other racing games at that time having that stuff. So yeah, super underrated, and the art style and the characters are hilarious. It's so good.
Yeah,
it is wild. It is wild.
Daryl, can you get a matchup next season either with Street Sharks or Gargoyles, please?
Ooh, Gargoyles. Yeah.
What about, okay, I know I feel like we've talked about it already. The, Gargoyles versus the, what was that, like, King Tut's?
The Mummies?
Mummies Alive.
Mummies Alive,
yeah. I think that's going to have to be a feature one.
Fuck, that was a good show, too. Mummies Alive.
That was a good show.
It was like the Power Rangers of dead people.
Yeah.
That show was really good.
It was really good. Yeah.
Dead people Power Rangers.
Yeah,
well played.
Whoever's got the rights for Mummies Alive, bring that show back. I would watch the fuck out of that if it was remade.
Side scroller beat 'em up Mummies Alive game.
Yeah.
They took it away from us too soon. I got us off a gaslit.
Oh.
That's so bad.
I don't know if you could say they took mummies away from us too soon, Daryl. They're like thousands of years old.
Yeah, it's not like you have like a Tutankhamun with them.
Boo.
And back to the show.
Yeah, and we're back to the episode. Yeah,
you could Ramesses these nuts.
Kyle's gonna pat himself on the back now. That was bad. I tried.
No, it would be a Cleopatra.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, bring us back, Kyle, for Christ's sake.
Okay, let's get back in here. Okay, looking a little bit further into the future, like I know we'll be back after the summer, but is there anything that's coming up like later on, say like post like summer, that you're like super excited about?
Well, I've got a couple games that are still like kind of around the summertime. One was actually delayed. It was supposed to come out at the end of May, but it's called Atlas Fallen. I know we've talked about that.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Like that game got delayed into August, which I'm happy it got delayed. It got a really big preview.
Yeah, exactly.
But like that game looks super cool. You can surf on sand dunes with like magical abilities. That's how you sprint in this world, is you just fucking surf on sand. So like that looks cool as shit. And
it kind of looks like Kingdoms of Amalur ish. Like it's kind of got that vibe. Like same thing, kind of a more of a knights and magic type.
It does tickle my fancy. I do like it.
I'm curious.
The only thing we just don't we don't know what the story is about. We don't know how important like the loot grind is in that and all that sort of stuff. So there's still a lot of kind of unanswered questions, but the first couple previews they've shown have looked really good. And then with Diablo coming out so close to it, I'm happy that it's being pushed to August. It gives them time to polish and kind of work things in. and not compete, because this game would get lost in the shuffle with all the other ones.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one that I had here, which I think Trevor probably has on his list as well, is Sea of Stars. Which is also August. They finally gave us a fucking release date for that. But yeah, it's basically in the same vein as like the old Chrono Trigger games. It's kind of that top-down 2D retro art style. Turn-based RPG. It looks gorgeous. They actually partnered with the composer of the original Chrono Trigger game to do the music.
Sick.
I gotta imagine the music is going to be on point with this one. Everything I've seen of it has looked phenomenal. I've never not seen a trailer or a preview where I'm like, that's like,
I would say this looks better than like was it Live Alive or Live Alive or whatever that just came out. It looks better than that, or like Octopath. Like it's similar, but I would say it's like a better graphical quality, but same kind of feel, but like it just looks better.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah.
Do you have another one that you're looking at, Trev?
Similar vein of like kind of turn-based. The one that's coming out, I think it's late summer. I can't remember the date it's supposed to come out. Baldur's Gate 3 is officially coming out later this year.
Oh yeah.
That's like a PC game.
I mean, it might be. We'll see. I have to look into it a bit more. I know there's a bunch of beta stuff. I saw some people kind of doing some tests, and it looked kind of like kind of on the same lines as like Divinity Original Sin kind of stuff.
Okay.
They kind of went that route, a bit more like D&D style. But I'm curious to play it. It looks same thing. It looks like they upped the graphics. I mean, Baldur's Gate 2 was from like ages ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It's been quite a while, so I'm curious to see where they go with it, and it's on my radar for sure.
I've never played that franchise. Is it turn-based RPG? Is it like Diablo type, like
it's
top-down
different, like,
isometric? Or
from what I remember, the original Baldur's Gates were just like isometric kind of hack and slash, whereas this one I think looks more turn-based, unless I'm mistaken. Unless I'm confusing my
Baldur's
games.
Gate was still like turn-based, sort of isometric sort of deal.
Was it?
If I remember,
confusing it with some other games.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Yeah,
it was all a dream.
I used to read Word Up magazine.
Oh yeah, I'm confusing it. Yeah, so it is. It's always been kind of an isometric. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of Gauntlet Legends. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
love Gauntlet.
Right. Yeah.
Give me another Gauntlet. Come on, people.
That would be a good one. I do remember seeing something about Baldur's Gate that the Xbox One was delayed indefinitely because it's broken. Like in development, they've ran into some crazy issue on just the Xbox side, and so they've got a release date for PC and PlayStation, but they don't have a release date for Xbox right now.
How do you get it to work on a PC but not a PlayStation or not an Xbox?
Yeah, exactly. That was my question. How the hell does that work?
No idea, and I don't know if that's been fixed by since I read this, but yeah, that's one of the few times I've seen that where I'm like, wait, what? Like, how do you get it on one console but
entirely broken on one console?
Yeah,
it's super weird,
strange.
All the characters just say Xbox, turn off, and then it just like
it's over.
Yeah.
Daryl, I'm going to jump in here. This one might make you guys laugh. This isn't so much for like being able to play it as like having a concrete release date nailed down. My good friend Skull and Bones.
Oh boy.
It's gonna get bumped again.
The longest delayed video game in history.
Bro, I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake before you're playing Skull and Bones.
That was the one I was expecting you to say, Daryl.
That's not out till 2024. So
what's the one that's coming out this fall then? There's another Final Fantasy thing coming out this fall.
Yeah, it's that other
Is that the mobile game one? Oh
yeah.
So confusing. So
too many names. They're getting into Kingdom Hearts territory here with all these fucking names.
They're gonna want to space out Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake though.
True.
Yeah.
So they're playing it pretty coy with that. But I assume the next chapter of Final Fantasy 7 Remake is going to be early 2024.
Yeah.
Now, is that going to be the end of that game, or
that's
part 2 of 3?
Wow,
Jesus!
It's like the original. They're sticking with the 3 discs.
Yeah,
yikes!
Just 3 parts. Hey, I'm into it.
Yeah, I know you are.
You are.
The first game gave me a ton of content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a big game. Yeah,
it is a big game for the amount of the story that it covered from the original. They just further in depth, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for somebody like me that never played the original, like it does. Like to me, this is the perfect time to jump into that game because it's so revered and everybody loves it so much. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to go play the block pixelated version. So like I am happy that they're remaking it.
Yeah,
so
it plays really well. It got me back in for sure.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is obviously on all our radars.
I forgot about that. I didn't look that far
because that's
ahead.
like September.
It should be September if they go off of the last two. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
That back to school window is always a deadly one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not a good time for me.
Expensive
one
and busy.
One that I'm curious about that they've sort of like announced but never really like expanded on was actually the Division Heartland.
Oh.
So it's a free to play one that's based on the Division.
So if it's free to play, is it like a live service, like
I must have missed
multiplayer
that
Warzone game? Like what is it?
Yeah,
I don't know yet. They've given very few details on it.
Interesting.
But I enjoyed the Division and the Division 2. I didn't get like super into like the end game grind of it, but the game as a whole I really enjoyed. And I mean, playing like Ghost Recon, Wildlands, and Breakpoint, I enjoyed those like third person tactical.
Yeah.
So if
gameplay loop
I'll
is
try
super
it.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Heartland. It's just like you're in the Division universe. You're just riding a horse.
Yeah.
The other thing, like in terms of going back, and we're talking about like the old Final Fantasy VII. The other thing I will be playing in the summer because I will be devoting some time to it, and I just spoke to this with Kyle. Is I did freak out the day that it came up on the PlayStation Store because I thought they had remastered it or something, and I just had no idea. But that is The Legend of Dragoon. I will be sinking in 100 hours into that game. And so I was like, I'll be setting away a pocket of time in the summer to get into that game. I absolutely love that game. If anybody has never played it, it's PlayStation 1. It's going to have the same graphical quality as PlayStation 1 with like some slight upgrades, very slight. And now there's trophies attached to it, so I'm of course going to get all of them. And, yeah, I love that game. Check it out. It's cheap if you don't already own it. But I love this feature on PlayStation, and I got to give Sony a shout out on this. Is I bought that game when it was on the PS3 store. And you could buy old PS1 and PS2 games and play on PS3. And when it released for PS5 on the new PlayStation Store, I was given it for free because I had already purchased it from PS3 PlayStation Store, and it was free for me. And that was like written into their coding. Like, so if you purchased it before, you just got it again for free. And I was like, fuck yeah. That's fantastic. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Take notes, Nintendo, you fucks.
Yeah. You stingy bastards.
Yeah, that might be one of the most requested games to be remade, like Final Fantasy VII.
Can you imagine them redoing that, though?
Oh, dude, don't. I've been begging for this for like over a decade. I have wanted them to. I don't even care if they don't remaster this. Give me a sequel or give me the prequel. The prequel's already written, and you could do the whole campaign of the prequel. Like, it's already within the game. Like, you would know what happened, but you would get to play the characters, the original Dragoons from before. Like, that they're always back referencing, and you meet some of them. Right. It's like, that is, if you're not going to redo the game, give me another facet of it. And like, it's the perfect opportunity. They saw the success with Final Fantasy VII. I'm just going to throw this game would do so well.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like Final Fantasy VII Remake has proven that method of bringing an old beloved franchise back, but rebuilding it from the ground up with new hardware, that is the successful way to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, not just taking the old code and, you know, rubbing it with a shit-stained cloth to try and make it look better. Like, no, rebuild it from the ground up, new engine, new mechanics. There's a lot of games that are trapped on old gens that nobody's ever played that would sell millions of copies if they did that.
Yep.
And that's definitely one of them, I think. for sure.
I agree.
I've got 2 games that quickly that are on my radar, but they're like cautiously optimistically on my radar. First one is Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I knew that was coming from you.
Yeah,
I'm a massive Street Fighter fan. That's the fighting game I grew up with. This game looks to change the formula dramatically. There's like a central like hub. You can kind of walk around and travel around, like mini open world areas, and then obviously the fighting on the side. To me, it does look dangerously close into the live service side of fighting game, and if that's the case, I'm probably out, or I might wait. I might wait a year.
You mean
for
you
all
don't
that
want
live service shit to come out?
$12 expansion character?
I don't want to have.
Stop fucking doing that.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that, and I don't want to have to grind out in-game currency for 30 hours just to get one new character or to get like this exclusive skin.
To get one new underwear color for Zangief.
Yeah. So that one scares me. And then the other one that scares me for very similar reasons to Street Fighter is Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, that's
like I love Rocksteady.
Came out saying it was live service, not that, like just recently. Yeah. And I was like, no.
Like I love Rocksteady. The Arkham games, that trilogy is probably the best video game superhero thing that we've ever gotten. And it's probably that and like the Spider-Man games.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those two hold pretty steadfast.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this coming from the same developer, I thought, slam dunk Suicide Squad isn't exactly the grouping that I would choose to play with. But hey, it's Rocksteady. I'll trust them. But fuck, that last preview they showed. Scares the hell out of me.
We're fine.
Yeah,
make it happen. They
delayed.
The right way.
They delayed it days after that preview because it just got shit on when they showed it, and so now it's been delayed another couple months. So yeah, that game scares the hell out of me, which is really too bad. But I will say the guys that were involved in the development of the Arkham games left Rocksteady before this Suicide Squad game really started to take off in development.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the same like leading guys that were involved. So, I mean, take that with with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Trev, get this one, like looking like long term, there's stuff that's been like announced but not completely developed.
Yep.
Do you ever remember playing like Metal Slug games?
Oh, fuck yeah.
There's a new one being developed.
Oh,
yeah, I think I shared that with you a while ago.
Metal Slug Awakening.
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks awesome.
That one is on my radar, like long term, and the Wolverine game.
Yeah. That's a while. We're a ways away from that.
I mean, they literally just gave us like a 10-second snippet of a bullshit animation.
Wolverine's one of my absolute favorite characters in MCU.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they've got a killer writer that's doing the story, that's writing the script for it. So yeah, I'm in.
Perfect. Yeah. Did we miss anything? Has anyone got any final words here to wrap up on? Trevor's pretty. Trevor's tapping out.
I got all mine. I'm hoping we just get lots of time to play these, and we can.
Oh my god! So many hours are going to be sunk into Diablo.
Get some episodes for next season.
Yeah.
If anyone has any that we missed, again, let us know if there's any. Yeah.
And if you want to chat with us in our off season, check our Instagram. We've got a link in our bio. It's got everything from our YouTube page to Discord, our websites. All of our content is on there. we'd love to chat with you guys on Discord, even if we're not doing episodes. We still want to chat games and all the nerdy shit that's going on out there. So yeah, make sure to check that stuff out.
Yes, sir. As always, and once again, thank you very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're just a bunch of dudes fucking around with a podcast that somehow has 80 episodes.
We did it.
We did it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you this summer.
Don't forget, GEG P10 Retro Edge Art.
Get your cubes, homies. Catch you on the flippity.
That's good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at GEG Podcast. Check out our website, goodenoughgaming.com, and write us an email about anything from our episodes or something you would like us to discuss in the future. You can also now join us on Discord on the Good Enough Gaming Discord server. We really appreciate you listening and hope you continue to join us on this epic adventure of discussing all things gaming and nerdy. Please subscribe to the Good Enough Gaming podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, and rate us 5 stars so we can find more good enoughers in the process. Just remember, we might not be great, but we are good enough. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at GEG Podcast. Check out our website, goodenoughgaming.com, and write us an email about anything from our episodes or something you would like us to discuss in the future. You can also now join us on Discord on the Good Enough Gaming Discord server. We really appreciate you listening and hope you continue to join us on this epic adventure of discussing all things gaming and nerdy. Please subscribe to the Good Enough Gaming podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, and rate us 5 stars so we can find more good enoughers in the process. Just remember, we might not be great, but we are good enough.